This is called the corridor interview. Creative spirit has more to offer when it is actually not playing any games, when it is not actually as an egocentric space to be.
We should stop. I can talk to you for another 5 hours. We already said bye once.
It's the second time.
This is the second time we are saying bye. I'll just ask one last question.
I would say the creative spark is not always there forever.
For you also?
Everyone.
But did you struggle?
I struggled 12 years. Is that enough?
that can be a problem. Were you in depression? Were you like about to quit the art world? Actually,
it was a very interesting conversation.
Thank you.
You have the knack of kind of,
tickling people.
And if you are actually dealing with someone constantly a dialogue in the social media, I think it's a very futile exercise for me. I don't have time for it.
Yes.
So this is what I think.
But watch the content.
And comment as well.
You were alone or you were married?
I was alone that time, but after 6 months I had to get married.
Get married?
Yeah, because...
You were saying you all used to really fight about artworks and like talk vigorously and passionately.
Fight about and a sharp criticism we used to have. It's not like, that, your work is not good and, mine is better. No. This was more like a very constructive criticism, which would actually benefit everyone,
Early marriage helped you?
I don't know.
No, of course it helped you. Like, what does that mean?
I don't know what can you help.
It would be pretty stressful for you because the world sees you as a creative machine.
But I don't think that is the case because you don't also put yourself in such a big pedestal. First of all,
yes.
You also have to be,
But isn't that the fundamental core characteristics of why we charge so much as artists, as creative people? The fact that we are always on. And because in a corporate world, work is assigned to you by a higher power. And then you have to just perform and manifest. Or, these ideas are original or are they borrowed?
Which ideas?
All your ideas.
Watching
a film is research. Every time you didn't answer the phone and you said you were busy,
I'll be watching a movie. Yeah, for sure.
Do you take a holiday psychologically? I'm asking.
No, psychologically I don't take.
How do you know your ideas are not stale?
I'm not saying it.
So much you said. Are you sure that you are right?
Because
then you sound like any other 51-year-old guy.
It's okay.
From your
what's the problem with that? Be 51 years or 50.
Hello and welcome to this amazing episode. We are inside the StoneX refinery. We just finished the podcast. Just now. It's been we've said bye 3 times to each other and then we continued the conversation for another 15 minutes and we said the 3rd time is finally done. So watch the whole podcast. We discussed, this is a long conversation, but you're going to learn a lot from this beautiful mind, Gigi Scaria. We just finished it. I'm going to ask him. I'm going to ask you, I'm going to embarrass him. I'm going to ask you, can you tell the audience what are the 5 to 10 points we spoke about? What did we discuss in this podcast?
I think we generally discussed about the way creative mind functions maybe, and understanding the struggle of making something and what kind of infrastructure we have. Maybe we are not realizing what we would actually potentially think about something to realize, and and the fiction, cinema, and the other aspects, even chess.
His sculpture over here.
And the sculpture over here, and the steps, and the way the narrative is framed or formed or understood.
And about religion, spirituality.
And religion, spirituality, and...
he has a lot of opinions.
And
I learned a lot.
And the opinions, and it's also very flexible. It's not just like, the whole point of the conversation is not about fixating ourselves to opinions. And we actually have to move around and keep on shifting or understanding new perspective. Therefore, you change what is already been understood differently,
More of this in 3, 2, the podcast starts now. Thank you. Hello and welcome to this setting. We are at the StoneX refinery in Kishangarh. I am sitting with, I'm going to just say he's a very, very famous artist, but he's also a beautiful mind. He's a teacher. I have learned a lot from him. He's been a mentor to many people, and I think he's one of the most humblest people in the art space. I really mean that, and many people have will vouch for that. So I want to present Mr. Gigi Scaria. Can I say your full name?
Yes.
Gigi Scaria. I saw his Aadhaar card, and everyone knows him as. And this podcast is going to be almost like a portrait of him. So, from 1 to 10, what is the honesty parameter? How honest will you be?
Yeah. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. What is the humor setting?
10 out of 10. Again.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you a funny guy?
I mean, I'm not a very funny guy, but I enjoy humor.
Yeah.
I also crack jokes. So whether others will laugh or not, it's not
You have an art joke?
many.
Like one art joke, like an artist walks in a bar.
No.
No, I'm asking any art joke in Malayalam.
No. I mean, right now I don't remember any of that.
He's nervous. He's joking. No, so I actually, and Mr. Gigi Scaria is part of the exhibition that we're producing at StoneX, and it gives me a great pleasure to have this conversation with him. I'm going to ask him a few questions about the work, and we're also going to deep dive into this beautiful mind. Everyone knows his works. Not everyone.
Yeah. No. Yeah,
We'd like to ask the correct questions so that we get to know the man behind the artwork. I'm not looking at you just as an artist now. You have actually, let's just go for it. They're going very silently.
ठीक है.
ठीक है.
Yeah.
Do you have friends in the art world, like real friends?
No. It's I mean, my friends are only from the art world, so.
You have only artists as friends in your life.
I mean, it just happened to be like that.
Yeah.
And my other friends, because I left my hometown when I was 22 years old.
Yeah.
So whoever the friends till that time, I did not have a kind of constant interaction with them to have become thick friends. Because
no mobile phone, no WhatsApp also.
Nothing of that. Yeah. So that means, I mean, otherwise still I have some childhood friends back in hometown. But otherwise, the rest of the people are in the art field.
Call someone to discuss, like critically study artwork.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to name people, but I do have, of course, and this was only very recently that, maybe once I crossed 45, I would say that, that interactions are getting slightly more limited and slower. It happens because of the age factor.
Because you don't like other thoughts, or you like people who challenge you?
No, it's none of that. It's about also many things changes in your own, in your own way of looking at things, or because I think, maybe I'll just, for example, if I had a friend I used to call, I mean, almost every day,
Yes.
And have a conversation for 1 hour long, that is not happening now.
Yeah, of course.
So, I mean, you also know that, if you had friends, 10 years ago,
Yes.
the interaction you had with your own friends and how limited that has become now, and how irregular, or how, this is that, it's no one's mistake.
Yeah.
It's not like, I mean, maybe your priorities getting different. And your interest changes, and you're also more like contemplative in your own way.
Yeah.
And so you don't want to kind of, be all out there for others, and others are also, I mean, I'm also not getting any calls, for example. So it happens, simultaneously.
Call him, whoever his friends are.
Yeah.
No,
So-
I was asking creatively.
Yeah.
Like you.
No, it has nothing to do with creativity.
No,
I would
I'm saying
say.
you
Yeah.
like to discuss artworks with people, or.
Yeah. I mean, that also, you see the art world changed over the last maybe 15 years time.
Explain this point.
And I can say that, so each and every time, because in Delhi, we used to, all of us go out and see the openings, and we talk about shows, and, what are the merits and demerits, and what are the things which we like, we did not like, and we probably have something, we may say that,
Yes.
If it would have been something like this, it would have been much better. These kind of conversation we used to have.
Yes.
So all of a sudden,
But it still happens. But
it still happens.
Doesn't happen with you.
But no, it's not that. I don't know whether it is happening within that vigorously and with that kind of sharpness.
It's called Art History Plus. No.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I know. I doubt that.
Thank you. You were saying you all used to really fight about artworks and like talk vigorously and passionately.
Fight about in a sharp criticism used to have. It's not like that your work is not good and mine is better. No,
Yeah.
This was more like a very constructive criticism,
Yes.
which would actually benefit everyone.
Yes.
And a critique also.
Yes.
It's not like you can't just sit and criticize anything.
Yes.
So you have to have a point to criticize.
Yes.
So it's actually sharpens your mind.
Yes.
And it's also understand the other person who is receiving it would also have a broadened mindset to understand what this person is saying.
Yeah.
It's not like no, let's stop there and we can't go any further.
That also makes you a more refined reader.
Yeah. I mean that happens. I mean, when you read and equally I would say that the visual as well as the reading habit.
Yeah.
And the visual in the sense in terms of watching a film.
Yeah.
And reading a novel.
Yeah.
And making a sculpture. All these has for me there is a common element to all of
You
this.
like fiction, non-fiction?
I like fiction more. Non-fiction also to an extent.
Yeah, your works have these landscapes which are like they're surreal.
Yeah, they are surreal or they could be magical.
What do you dream about? You got recurring dreams?
No, I don't.
Like you wake up in the night, like at 51 now,
Now I don't have any more dreams. But anyway, I used to have.
I get dreams of like water, like flooding. I get like some weird dreams.
No, I always get one dream for a very long time that I just kind of getting somewhere very late. Okay.
Yeah.
And that happens. And also your flight, and that you have to reach somewhere, but there were so many obstacles you would never reach
Your
there.
legs get cemented or like
That I don't get, but there are circumstances which actually will not make you to move further.
Yes.
So it's somewhere stuck, and you always have that in the mind that you have to reach there and do whatever. That will not happen.
And
there are so many things comes in between. Yeah, this is a recurring dream in
not a
different ways.
philosophy. This is not a concept that you feel in your life is happening, like obstruction.
It might. Who knows?
Some people say that when I try something for the first time, it never happens. Second time, it happens. I never get what I want the first time. Like stuff like that.
No. In my case, it's completely different. I just wanted to get something. I'll get it in the first time.
Wow.
But it's not like I'm making any huge thing out of it.
Yeah.
It's like in some other conversation also I said the same. It's not like if I don't 100% sure about what I'm doing, then I won't do it. So that's kind of because that actually make it at least 70% of what I want to achieve. It can happen in that sense of that whatever that visually.
Are you sure you want to say that 70% is your? Because you're a contemporary artist who's doing very fine work. Then when a contemporary artist says, I reach to 70% of my vision, then you're being damn honest, which is actually the right thing.
I mean, it's not even 70%. I'm just making it slightly broader in that sense. But what I'm saying is that particular act, whatever I wanted to do, I more or less I'll get there. That groundwork I do. That's what I mean. I mean, it's not much of the trial and error things and accidental result things like that.
Do you have any other identity other than being an artist? Like when you wake up in the morning, you're like.
Yeah, I mean, it's not art is not the only identity. I mean, I would say from my own perspective that it's if at all it's an art is such a kind of set identity, then probably I don't want to be in that identity alone. But then naturally, you have so many various of interest in your, area of, where you are. So it's not just only about art. It's not only about making images and thinking through, but it's also about, understanding how you actually kind of, maneuver or move around in the whole mix of, life itself. So in that sense, you have multiple identity and personality as well. It's not just like, you have one person. You come across different expressions in different, unexpected situations. You react differently. You don't even know. So in that sense, you can't say that, you are just an artist, But majority of your time is actually spent in creative and doing more about or thinking more about where you are actually. So in that way, I'm an artist.
Talking of, when you said unexpected, the word struck me. A little birdie told me that you activate your mathematical and analytical side through chess. And people don't know this, but he's a chess player. Are you a grandmaster?
No, I'm not.
But you like chess.
Yeah, I used to play a lot in my childhood.
Yeah.
So I had, very interestingly, I had a set of people I grew up with were all like 10 years older than me.
You were
So
the youngest.
it was not just because none of them are my siblings or anyone.
Yeah.
It just happened to be that the house next to me was a studio.
Yes.
It's a photo studio, which was given rent out for a young person who those days just passed out from one of the photography schools and start up a new business, which happened to be in our building. So I was 10 years old when he started his setting. He was 19 years old. So soon after the school, I used to go there and sit with, he has a lot of friends circle. So I kind of, grew up in that setting for a very long time. So they started, playing chess also. There are a lot of leisure time where so many activities took place in that area. I mean, I used to, because it's a studio, there was also photography, the marriage albums and, all kinds of events were made into albums those days. So decorating album was one of the activity I used to do there.
Like all
the no, it's not hand drawing and things, because it's the black leaves on which the photographs will be pasted.
Yes.
Then there will be
translucent
paper in between. Then you have some decorative elements.
Yes.
You will. So I kind of started doing that also.
Nice, yeah.
This was no reward. It was just like when I was a child. But I was interested in
unpaid labor or
completely unpaid because it's just they were all my friends.
Oh, so they exploited it.
Yeah.
And also you are the youngest guy.
Yeah, I was the youngest guy, but I was very good at drawing.
Yeah.
I could actually create so many interesting designs at that time.
Yes.
So that all contributed, and that also made my skill more, towards perfection in that sense. Yeah.
Everything about your practice reminds me of this. There's a monotonous feeling. Is that because of playing chess too much in your childhood? It's just black and white. I know that my first entry into your works was that iconic video work that you made. Where the whole city is image.
Yes, it was the. I understand what you're saying. It's the.
You'd like to be defined with that work, or would you?
But it all depends, because then one would actually move on in different times.
One would move on.
Yeah.
But people will try to lock you and compartmentalize you.
Yeah, that's unfortunately the way in which people recognize also other people.
Yeah.
Because if you have done something, then that's a kind of point for people to connect you with that particular. That's also for them. It is to frame in a certain way.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can't actually understand a person by grand elaborate setting where you can't catch hold on a person. So people would actually connect with. For my case, people might understand me more like architecture. Those who are dealing with architecture spaces and some of the elements of that kind and flat color applications and different things. So and each time you actually try to break that notion by doing something new and different. But sometimes the ideation of understanding for the people is so strong that whatever you do differently, that all will be accumulated into the same pool.
That's true.
So you would never come out of it what has already been imagined about you by others.
But you have to take an exponential risk then to break their perception.
But whether we should do that or not is up to us.
You do take risks.
I mean, I do take risk, but I don't want to take risk to reimagine someone else's perspective.
Sure.
That is not something which I would venture or put my time in.
The whole reason I'm having this conversation with you as a portrait is to kind of understand how your creative mind works. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're trying to.
Absolutely.
That's the core.
Yeah.
We're going to go to different
Yeah.
assets of different values and characteristics of yours. If a younger person is watching this content and forever and ever on the internet, to catch you at this time, when you're so young and you're doing these works, you have done a few works which have photo-based works, photo manipulations. In fact, I was going to tell you, it's my when I was in college, when I saw your work, the train work and a bunch of work, I still look at you with that lens on. Now we're doing the show at StoneX. I've seen your paintings also all the time. Like, in fact, I feel like you're overexposed. in my mind, I feel you've done. I mean, you kind of like captured this one staircase vibe. What we college students used to call staircase to heaven, stairway to heaven. It's like there is this one recurring figure that comes, like, you know, the Tower of Babel. There's some Monument Valley. Have you played the game Monument Valley?
No, I haven't.
On the iPad. So
no.
Fantastic game. So it has this step. Now you've made this work, which has. Can you just let's imagine that I'm not going to show the image to anybody.
Yes.
No image.
Okay.
You have to
I have
make
to
people
explain.
fall in love with the work without any visuals.
Okay.
Can you explain the work to them?
Well, this is it's a combination of staircases and the rock formations, and it's more like the landscape structure of rocky landscape, and in which the different levels in which the staircases are moving around. And towards the top, you will also see that the staircase goes up, also has a coming down steps as well, and the other side of it. So it's basically it's an I mean, you can't do that. You cannot actually step down through that staircase. So it's in a way something which is not really possible, and yet again you see that but there is a possibility of doing something of that sort, but it's actually not possible. So that's also something an art can actually offer you. So it's an imagination of a very different level, and things are very solid and concrete and in front of you. Yet again you cannot achieve it. So that's a kind of magic plays in that particular way, and especially when I was thinking this is something which have to be done in stone, and I preferred more like a sharp edges and corners as part of the exercise, because
you
I thought
really like sharp edges and corners.
I do.
What is happening?
I mean,
what is?
I mean, maybe it's not.
This character.
No, it's not like
playing safe.
No, it's like, I mean, the opposite to that is what? It's flow, rhythm, spontaneity, and curves.
I don't know.
No, I'm just telling you. I mean, if and in a geometrical sense, if you talk about the sharp corners and edges, then there's the opposite side is about curves and smoothness and movement. I mean, if I kind of take that as part of my practice, then I felt it is probably much more boring. So that could be one element.
And time consuming too.
Time consuming is not, it's because, one could have that kind of skill enough to maneuver with that kind of things. But it's about spontaneity and movement, and sharp edges also has the same. But then sharp edges may have actually interrupt your vision in a stark point. From there you kind of, shift.
Oh, wow.
So that is an interesting element for me. When you, I mean, that's why, you actually like flow in your life, but maybe when challenges won't come in that particular moment. It's like, it's an ever flowing thing, and you'll say it's a kind of philosophical understanding. Life is a flow when it goes. It's like so smooth.
But it's also not. A staircase.
All of a sudden you come to terms with the staircase, which is steep and which has nowhere to go. And then you probably will start climbing up, and you stand somewhere. Then you might come back, or you do something else from there. So that possibility of stuck for a moment is very interesting for me. That's why these sharp corners and edges.
No, I was just teasing you. I didn't intend you to go that deep into the explanation. We'll show the image. You have the ability to explain your works in such detail because of your past as a teacher. Like, you give advice. Like, you're a great mentor. I told you at Khoj, when you were the mentor for 3 years. Some students had asked a few questions, and I was sitting there. And I was blown away by your reading of that student's work. Then the next student's work also, you somehow knew what the core practice is. Just by looking at the images, you somehow understand it. That's because...
No, I think that's not because of I'm a teacher. So it comes because of that. I have the somewhat interest in actually going more into details of what people are doing.
You're a learning machine.
No, I'm not.
No, like some people like they learn.
No, I'm not like that. I'm a very, very slow learner and slow reader and all. But somehow, if I get a grip of it, then I probably can be very specific about it.
Yeah.
That's the thing, and it might. Most of the time, others will agree on that. And otherwise, is that conversation can lead to something else. So
You've been giving advice to students for so much time.
I wouldn't say these are advices. That I would say that I do make some observations, and I would say that there are, this could actually open to these many directions.
Yes.
So it's always that opening up channels is what one would actually always think. It's even someone else will look at my work also. It would be the same thing. I would expect something that person can say other than what I've been thinking or saying about my own work practice. So in that sense.
But you were a teacher.
I taught.
Well, you had a struggling time.
No, I taught many years in the sense.
But did you struggle? Like,
I struggled 12 years. Is that enough?
Enough. Sahi jawab. 12 years.
Yeah.
No, when you say struggle, you mean like were you on
Struggled,
the verge of quitting? Okay, I don't want to make the conversation sound or have a conversation with you unless you're okay with it because it might be personal.
No, that's okay.
It's not personal. It is personal.
Of course, it's personal,
but I want to document. I don't know if anyone asks artists like what the bad times were like. I mean, you're killing it now. You're thriving, or are you sus? Are you managing?
Like what?
Like in life as an artist.
I'm just managing. Yeah, really? I can only say. Yeah.
All the artists are downplaying their.
It's not.
There's no flamboyance that a European artist would have, but in India somehow the best artists. You're being interviewed. You're part of the best galleries. You're part of the best thing.
It's all there, but it's still maybe one would actually get. You always think that something else is lacking, and some places you probably have to be a part of, or you have to be there. It's never happened. It's always a case. Even if you interview Anish Kapoor, he would also say the same thing.
No. So he doesn't. I've interviewed him. He doesn't say. He doesn't say that. He's very sure and very confident.
No, it's not about sure and confidence. I'm saying that it's about aspirations have different range and level.
Yeah, when you reach there, you get more hungry.
I mean, it's not about more hungry reaching anywhere. It's about. It's also one is that sustaining a practice is not that easy.
Why? So that's my question.
For so many reasons. First of all, the first and foremost, I would say the creative spark is not always there forever.
For you also.
Everyone. And if one of the reasons that Van Gogh committed suicide was not just because of his mind was he has gone through many mental crises, but many people have also assessed and understood that as more like he has actually reached to a saturation of his own creativity. So after that,
how do you know this?
There are analysis of that sort also. After that, there is nothing much you can do. So it means that you think that you have that immense amount of things in your hand and which will never ever cannot get completed. But it's not like that. Sometimes you get your resources are shortened, and why the writers have the writer's block. Artists have a lot of creative blocks.
Yes.
And maybe they won't accept it, but I would see in my thing, I could get creatively blocked for some time.
It would be pretty stressful for you because the world sees you as a creative machine.
But I mean, I don't think that is the case because you don't also put yourself in such a big pedestal. First of all,
yes,
you also have to be, it's not like world is going to collapse if I'm not there kind of situation. That's certain people would have that attitude, but I don't think that make any sense. And I always think the opposite.
No, but it's pretty.
I always think the opposite. There is one saying about it's a couplet by a poet says about one day if your eyes are closed, everyone will forget about you. That's also the side of it. So So it's not like, as long as your eyes are open, that people will remember you. At the moment the eyes are closed, others will also forget you. So it's, your own, how many generations down, you would actually can imagine that, anything of yours will exist.
But
so it's,
You mentioned Van Gogh. People didn't forget him.
No,
It's like if you. But
that's a very rare occasion. There are so many such artists.
Yes.
So many people you don't remember now.
Oblivion.
So, so that's also the other side. No, it's a very few like Van Gogh.
So that's one. You said that there are multiple reasons being creative is tough.
Yeah. So one I'm saying, talking about the creative part of it, and also things which you wanted to achieve or create or make. Certain times the infrastructure and so many other aspects which actually make that happen may not exist, may not actually help you to do that, because in your country, in your setting, wherever you are from, the limitations are so high that you cannot, after a point, you cannot grow further. That's also set by the geographic condition in which you are.
You feel that in India?
Absolutely.
Do you want to get a little problematic?
No, there is nothing problematic about it. Everyone knows
it. Like you can't have thoughts beyond something because you're psychologically capped, or you're talking physically, material wise?
The material wise also, the perfection wise also, though what you can achieve from the given circumstances and the materials which you use. So there is a specific line in which you can do. After that, if you want to go further ahead of it, there is no professional tools available in this country.
Every artist will say the same thing.
I know that is something which everyone knows.
You'll go to China. And the government doesn't allow you to go to China.
Yeah, so there are so many.
I'm saying it.
Yeah, so that's one. And also in terms of scale, if you wanted to think, you won't be able to achieve that either. So scale, perfection, these are two major factors of the fine arts. So if you're missing out on these two, then what are you talking about? So naturally, then you have your own limitations, and certain people will understand the limitation much in advance, so they work around it. That is how we all work.
You're making the best.
And the best of what we have, but even that, it's not there. It's like, even there also you have a struggle. And to make it much more, because one side of it, we are talking about production and making it. It's very much a part of what we are doing. And it's not just only thinking and ideating it and giving it to someone and then they will make it and show you. It's the each and every step of that process you are part of when you are very much there. So I'm talking about that. Otherwise you can be a conceptual artist also. There is no harm in it. And you could imagine and say that this is what it is. And if you have enough vocabulary, and you can make things work in a very different manner, where you don't necessarily need accompanied by your whatever you're making. And your hands are not probably important in that case.
You have been, you spoke just now of struggle in production. Before that 12 years also you struggle. Nobody knows that you struggled for 12 years. At least I don't. Like people don't know. Were you in depression? Were you about to quit the art world?
No, I've never thought of quitting the art world because I had enough to do. And the only thing is that there was no success, there was no monetary benefit. So I was teaching, therefore I was teaching. I was teaching in a school, art in a school first. So soon after my post-graduation.
You'll be one of the finest teachers in India.
No. I'm not actually.
You groomed yourself very well, by the way, over the years.
Like what?
Like for a 40-year-old guy,
I'm 50. I'm 51. I'm not 40-year-old.
You say I'm 45 plus 18% GST. So you're 51. Congratulations.
Thank you.
51 years around the sun is a
that's true.
Long travel. So so out of these 51 years, till 12 years were bad after art school.
In the sense, soon after the art school, So I had to survive. I mean, I had to stay in Delhi. So I had to,
You were alone or you married?
I was alone that time, but after 6 months I had to get married.
Had
so
to get married?
Yeah, because we were like, I mean, I had a girlfriend, so we thought of getting married. So this was like, we both have almost the same age.
Yeah.
So her, from her family side, there was also pressure that,
Yeah.
So.
And from your side, there was no pressure.
Because I was only 26. I was only 26.
You got married at 26.
Yeah. So there was no such pressure from my side or from my family side, but it was obviously a need for me to earn, because otherwise there was no way I could live in Delhi like city,
Early marriage helped you?
I don't know.
No, of course it helped you.
I mean,
what does that mean?
I don't know what kind of help. What kind of help you mean? I don't know.
No, psychologically, because a partner who really believes in you.
Yeah, definitely. It actually gives you confidence, and maybe you look at things much more maturely, in a sense that you also have to take up something in order to kind of struggle out your life, which is coming. Yeah.
You're not religious, superstitious. You pray.
I am partially.
You don't have to tell me everything.
I know I'm partially religious in the sense, not in terms of the spiritual. I mean, that kind of superstitious religion, but it's something. I mean, I seriously observe what religion does to a human being, and
what does it do?
Quite a lot. I mean, even if you negate. Even if you, I mean, many kind of influences and kind of the way the things are laid for you as a being.
Explain that.
Anything to everything. It's a ritualistic or morality sense, and the way your ideation, your thinking, and your fears, and everything and anything has to do with either myth or religion. Both have the intertwined connection. So I mean, it's we all know it's not real, but that actually associate with your brain waves, and that has something to do with, because you have to have certain kind of anger, and even if you are an atheist, for that matter also, you have to have that atheism as an anger to what you hold into. So it's also equally religious in that sense. The
That's
way.
A good point. I also think the same way. And I have had multiple fights with many people who don't understand this.
I mean, that's a very simple thing. It's as long as the brain functions, it has to have it will generate. And you cannot, if you try, you're kind of killing it by your own logical thinking. It's not there. It's not happening that the way you think.
So one thing objectively.
No, it's not. It's not possible. And also part of it, it's all hugely influenced by the myths and stories and all kinds of imaginary characters which played in our head.
Of yourself also.
All yourself. And you yourself also, you imagine as someone else.
Self-image.
Yourself is something else. It's a persona you create, and you believe in it.
Have you done a self-portrait?
Many times, Not recently.
Email me one image.
Wait.
Don't email me the image. Explain the image to me.
No, I've done it in different times of my, staying in Delhi time.
How do you said you like your side profile better than your front?
That's so because of I used to also make. At one point of time when we all start your own. You personalizing your thoughts, and you put some fragrance in your own artwork.
Wow.
In that sense, there the self comes a lot in the initial stage. Now I don't make my self-portrait at all. I don't even think much about it. But there was a time when you in the growing up time you think a lot about yourself, and then that what is your angle best to represent your kind of the others can actually recognize you as you. That kind of persona you create by looking at your own
image. You walk with the image of yourself.
Absolutely, and that may not be the image which others are familiar with, but that is your image about yourself.
That is true. And it's in the all these, when you are actually also, there is one thing, this is one conspiracy theory. Say that you walk with the image not your image. You walk with your mirror image.
Yeah.
When you comb your hair from left to
Absolutely.
right,
Yeah.
the world is seeing you from
The
right to left.
other. Yeah.
So you're
correct.
walking with a completely
Different perception.
image.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So it's amazing.
Yeah.
I want to get back to this, your fiction, your concepts of fiction.
yeah.
You're a film guy. You watch film. Or
I watch film and I really
is a book better or the film better?
both are equal for me. I mean, I can't kind of make any, because I think there are interesting things about it. One
Like
is that
films as much as art.
yeah, absolutely, and
You have
I'm
that much
passionate
time.
about it.
Every time you didn't answer the phone and you said you were busy.
I'll be watching a movie. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
But you are like,
I seriously
for you,
watch movies.
watching a film is research. No.
I mean,
And
for me,
also, my last question will be: do you
yeah.
take a holiday psychologically? I'm asking.
no, psychologically, I don't
I
take
ask
holiday.
artists who are overworking and who are always
Yeah.
on the illusion and addiction that I am an artist. No, I'm not like.
Yeah,
it's basically, I'm just trying to say that artists are not taking holidays psychologically. They are, when they go for a holiday, they're like, "Wow, this is a beautiful view."
No, but
Their brain is still
I have an answer to that. Because what are you taking holiday from, basically?
If I go for a holiday, I'm still looking at the colors.
Yeah.
And I'm still excited at the blueness.
Yeah.
I went to Maldives and I'm looking. I'm still trying to. My brain is not going off being creative.
Yeah. Because you cannot take out your mind somewhere and go to holiday. And mostly what happens at the professional life for anyone who is a professional has a personal life separately. And artist, these are fused to one.
Yeah.
So you are always yourself and your creation and your responding to each and every moment what's happening around.
Yeah.
So that can never be out when you are in a holiday.
But isn't that the fundamental core characteristics of why we charge so much as artists, as creative people? The fact that we are always on. And because in a corporate world, work is assigned to you by a higher power.
Yeah.
And then you have to just perform and manifest or action it.
Yeah.
There is an
But
having creative thoughts is expensive.
I know, but there is also a slight deviation from that also, that people, even though we think, it's all about in our imagination that we are not under anyone.
Yes.
But we are under circumstances, we are under so many people in different times.
Yes.
So that is an artistic merit, make you say that, you are above all, because you think that your creative energy can surpass anything and everything around you. Because any corporate system, any kind of bureaucracy, any kind of political system, nothing can touch the creative power of a human being. That's the only, but that's an illusion again.
That is also an illusion.
That is also an illusion, according to me, because you think that it's just like a religious thing. You have a higher God exists there, and you are not anywhere close to Him. Okay, so when you think, when you ideate, you always say that this is the case, but you are never matching, because you are that creativity you talk about.
Yeah.
You probably hardly exercise that
Yeah.
through your own personality.
Yes.
And that's there just to you think that therefore I am above everyone.
You self-identify.
In order to match with something superior, like any other profession.
Yes.
Like any other profession, that is everywhere. So in one sense you are actually eliminating yourself to that level which you cannot achieve, and that's what everyone does. Art is not an exception in that sense.
Sure.
But creative spirit has more to offer when it is actually not playing any games, when it is not actually as an egocentric space to be. That is when the creativity can actually move around and do things
freely.
When the moment you start
But for that the substrate has to
pedestaling it, you kill it.
But at that time the soil or the substrate has to be fertile also.
Absolutely. I mean, that fertility you have to make it. No one is going to give you fertile soil to do whatever the part.
That's what I'm saying. No one's going to give it to you.
No.
That means you're saying the natural order of the world is against creative pursuits.
It could be, and you could also imagine otherwise, that the natural order could be full of creativity, and you wanted to cull out your own personal creativity, then you think that this is much bigger than the creative things around you.
Yeah.
That is when you have a problem.
You're a damn positive guy, man.
Is it
Yeah.
positivity or negativity?
It's positivity. It's a great stream of thought of where you kind of like are having, you're assigning yourself as a positive.
No, I mean,
What are you reading? No, sorry.
No. No, I would say that it's all about more about critical thinking.
So, what are you reading now? Like, these ideas are original or are they borrowed?
Which ideas?
All your ideas.
I mean, I think it's all I mean, that there's
think
also
it's also-
there is also dispute regarding the original ideas. I also don't believe in it. It's not that you actually steal ideas from someone or influenced by something, but ideas as such is a product of the social system. And there is a give and take, and there is also a whole lot of mix of exchanges actually make new ideas to form. So one person alone cannot be a genuine thinker and creative.
You are a product of your environment.
Absolutely. So in that sense, it's all. The only thing is that how much you connect with your own thinking in order to make that overall what you're trying to do. That is where your thinking ability works, and you have to think to connect.
Do you think you connect with this marble sculpture? Do you think that you can pass it? Do you think you are able to? Do you think you're able to connect, or what you had imagined this work will become? People will kind of like in an illustrative way understand what you're trying to say with the reverse staircase.
I really don't.
Are you open for interpretation?
No, it's obviously open for interpretations, and I really don't think that one should actually understand the way I think about it. That kind
You're
of
okay with
strictness. I'm okay with that, because that is, if I say that this could only understand in a particular manner, which means I am defeating what I am trying to say through this interview also. It's not. It's very free flowing, and at the same time, multiple observations and understanding is a part of everything. And it's not if you completely control over whatever you are making and doing, and the element of creativity, you are killing it there itself. Because others' interpretation is part of your part. Basically.
Have you ever like super bombed, like failed completely?
Yeah, and occasions
big failures.
Maybe not very big failures, but I could say that certain things about certain public sculptures, public art sculptures, which I was trying to do, might have collapsed once. With that, I couldn't take it up further.
No court cases and
No. There was no accident or as such, but it was the mechanism failed. So things like that,
Any last thoughts? Any advice for the younger generation, since you have a good track record of giving advice as a mentor to coach?
No, I mean, I think it's
like hot takes.
Many things matters. I always tell whoever I kind of has close connections with in terms of when we discuss the creativity and all. I would say that you have to always. I mean, minimalism is one tactics one would do in art in order to kind of bring it to the core and point, not just because you have nothing else to express. So you have to have abundance in order to bring down to something solid and concrete.
Yes.
So in that sense, you have to have an area of materials in your hand.
Yes.
In terms of thoughts, in terms of action, in terms of subject matter, so that you can come down to something which is more coherent and which is more close to you at one point of time, rather than starting from the very low.
Superficial.
No, not superficial. You have to have things in abundance.
Yes.
And I'm talking about creativity. Then only you can bring to a point. Otherwise, so where is that abundance comes? That really don't come from your own thinking alone. that is where you read, that's where you observe, that is where you move around, that is where you actually put yourself into dangerous positions in order to experience it. I mean, I'm not saying that you have to deliberately go and do it, but you have to have enough confidence that you could be there, even though you don't prefer to be. But such edges you can move into and stand there for some time, so that you get consumed by the surroundings, which you are very uncomfortable to stand for. So that kind of, challenging have to be a practice, part of your habits, which actually widen your horizon in order to delve into the creative process you are into. This is what I would say. It's not very simple, but it's also not that complex. And what I'm saying is that, you have to have enough to deal with it, because it's also, you're dealing with it. It's like, if you're talking about chess, then, you have these, the whole battalion, people are there, and, there are so many moves. There are so many movements. There are thousands of ways in which you can attack, and you can defend also. So you have that whole battlefield. You have to be thoroughly aware of the field, and then you play and you enjoy it. You see that, you might see the complete destruction, but you are part of it. You are playing it. That should be the spirit.
I thought this is going to be a fun, happy interview. He's good. He ended it in a battlefield. But you don't bring out you have a great sense of humor. I told Girish also. All laughing in all the after parties. In the art world, you have a straight, serious kind of side to you.
I don't know. I mean, it's people must be imagining me like that, because I am not that serious guy.
I mean, you're a serious guy. But you're also a fun guy. Like, I mean, you crack. Like yesterday, Chandru Koteshwar was telling me what a nice time he had with you. He made me call you. He's like, call him.
I know.
He had a great time with you. He was like, he's very funny and had a very nice time. So I was like, even I feel the same way. But I just wish that through the podcast, you become a little less transparent. And I think your front profile looks as good as your side profile. Even I told you now, you'll get in the comment section, people will write. It should be put out there. I don't know. I think people have self-image.
Yes.
Which can be common.
Absolutely.
Perfectly fine. Perfectly perfect. On this, I'm going to say thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there something you want to say that or correct? Because this is the internet. This is not a text-based print journal.
I know.
So if you want to correct something that someone might have misquoted or said something about you that you now want to reach out.
No, but that in any case, that kind of misunderstanding can happen any times. So I don't want to correct any of that. Whatever has happened, spelled out, it's like that only. I mean, I haven't said anything completely wrong what I'm thinking about, or talking about. So I don't think any such things. I mean, creative process is always has a very, it's very complex in one sense. And, the moment you start thinking that you're kind of some kind of grasp, you will lose it. So that is how it is. And that's why it is interesting also. That's why you would actually always wanted to be in that area, because you are not completely taken it into one set of code of conducts, and you say this is it.
Otherwise it becomes boring.
Sure. That it's not also become boring. It's also become a dangerous activity. You won't look at it again once you kind of fix it.
Creative pursuits are the perfect blend of predictability and surprises,
and
that's what keeps it.
And very unexpected way the way you think, your habit changes, your maybe some of the chemicals in your mind change, the brain changes, things will change. So I mean, you can't have 100 times one particular point in which you say that after 10 years you were saying something else in the last interview. That's how it is. You change. And then now your convictions are different than 10 years ago or 5 years ago.
And then you don't have a voice, no. So how's your Insta game?
Like what?
Like, how are you on Instagram?
No, I mean, I'm not a
You're formal.
very regular. I mean, I just, mostly my posts are maybe some of outside the art. It's like, some of the photographs or images and some places where I visit.
You, on Instagram, you are putting your artistic side.
Yeah, mostly that's what.
So
That's
it's like a website.
Yeah, yeah. And I've never, even though I probably write a little bit or, I kind of have certain, aphorisms or dialogues and all that, but none of that I put it in any of this social media. Because then I don't want to, because I just thought it's easier that, whatever the visuals are, let it be there.
Yeah.
And if the moment you start thinking about and talking about, and then of course, then you'll have to be always answerable to so many people coming and asking, talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, such discussions, I don't feel it's very, it make any sense to me.
Sure.
Because social media as such, I would consider that that's a very imaginary space.
Imaginary.
Completely. Because the people,
I think it's completely real.
no, it is real. That is what you think. That reality.
Tell me.
That reality is like any other reality. Okay, real is what? What is real? What is non-real or what is surreal?
This is like
reality is
it's like the Matrix now.
it is actually, because the
Morpheus.
interactions you have with many people, and the way, I mean, one of my pastime, what I do is that I look at the comment section for each post, whoever is posting, and look at the comments.
Yeah.
And comments are coming from a very particular mind perspective, always.
Yes.
Certain black and white characters.
Yes.
You say, someone completely against, someone completely for it.
Yes.
That kind of comments you get.
Yes.
So if you think that is the real world, then you are mistaken. People cannot, when you start writing, your persona changes, because then you have to articulate a point when you write. But when you are having a conversation, your point will fluctuate. It changes. You can't pin down a point. That's the difference between writing and thinking. Okay.
No, but I think then you're talking of the act of documenting.
No, it's
Because
not,
writing
it's not
is
the act of documenting it, because
It's
you are
documentation.
actually responding to a particular subject
Prompt,
matter
yeah.
in a very
Yeah.
prompt manner.
Yes.
And the other person, the next moment, he would have something else in his
Yes.
occupied his mind.
Yes.
So you would completely, and
So-
then what you do, because you are the one who posted, you got this comment, you will be thinking another 1 month of yours is gone because of this comment. So who is real and who is unreal here?
Barabar.
So, and if you are actually dealing with someone in constantly a dialogue in the social media,
Yeah.
I think it's a very futile exercise for me.
Yeah.
I don't have time for it.
Yes.
So this is what I think.
But watch the content. Because
And comment as well.
He's
That's what we are talking about.
you are real, okay? You are
Contradictory in nature.
No, I'm telling my viewers that they are real people. Your comments are also real.
No, people are real, but comments are not. Changes.
Yeah, you could be you could have a different persona while you are commenting.
Yeah, absolutely. And you will be, it's also depends, who is commenting and what kind of comments, and this, that person is kind of, completely, you don't like that person at all.
Yeah.
So even the most important comment that person, this person write,
Yeah.
will be against that person because you don't like that person. So, how do you kind of check facts and analyze it?
Yeah.
So therefore, and social media is such a.
I want to talk about you. I don't want to talk about social media.
No, I mean,
Your ideas are interesting.
I'm talking about social media because I think about it. No, so
Yeah.
it's me who is talking about it. So that's the only point.
Yeah.
Because
Then you sound like any other 51-year-old guy.
it's okay.
From your
What's the problem with that? Be 51 years or 50. You
No,
cannot.
I mean it as an insult.
No,
I mean it as a stale
No, even
person.
if it's as an
Who does-
insult, I would. I don't have any problem because.
The younger generation,
Yeah.
the younger people
Yeah.
who like my team ka 19-year-olds,
Yeah.
20-year-olds, for them it is a very real thing.
I know.
And
Yeah.
You've had a great childhood where you met real people. Even me, I'm 41.
Yeah.
So our thing. But for them, you have to respect their time.
No.
Something that I feel.
It is
Shows
there.
about you actually. I don't
No,
want
no,
to say
but,
anything.
no. So the only problem with if you realize that social media is real,
You
of
sure
course
your
it is.
ideas are not stale? How do you know your ideas are not stale?
I'm not saying it. I'm not. I mean,
So much you said
no,
about your comments not being real or something like. Are you sure that you are right?
no. What I'm saying is that what are the sources of information which actually bring you put out there as an authentic understanding.
That is not verified.
Okay.
Yes, that.
So that is not verified. So much of it is colored by the kind of social media activities throughout.
I agree that it's a waste of time. That much I agree.
No, but it's not based. I'm saying it's an exercise. We are all part of it.
Yes.
We are all part
We
of
are
it.
first
None
generation.
of us are not out of it.
Yes.
So why we are very intensely thinking about it, because it's very much part of us.
Yes.
Also, it's not why I'm saying it's I don't have much time to it,
Yeah,
because maybe
you're a pro.
it's better that imaginary characters I probably make them use into something else than fighting or
That is true.
having a conversation with them. Because that imaginary characters are there in any way.
Yeah.
In our own self, it is there.
So I'm imagining you're not on Twitter.
No,
Just fighting.
I'm
just fighting.
Yeah.
On Facebook also.
For example, something which if I can say that the Dostoevsky's characters, So basically, if you read all his big novels, Idiot, Brothers Karamazov, Possessed, all these big novels have so many characters.
Yeah.
But what actually you will find that the similarities of these people, and he actually split himself into these many characters.
Yeah.
And
So
you will
role-playing.
see that he's playing it all by himself.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting point. But
That you can be somebody else.
you can be somebody else, and the major negotiation happens with your own self and the self which you created opposing you, and you don't know who is winning the game.
Yeah.
The chess players, if one person is playing the side and the other side as well.
Yeah.
Okay, the other side also you play.
Yeah.
Then you actually that who is there, who is what is the move, and based on that you play the other side.
That's damn tough game.
Yeah. So this is a game. That's what it's all about.
Gigi Scaria. We should stop. I can talk to you for another 5 hours. We already said bye once.
Yeah. This is the second time.
This is the second time we're saying bye. I'll just ask one last question.
Okay. One more.
What's your relationship with money?
Money.
Yeah. What's your relationship? Like, how do you? I ask all the artists. Last year also I had 51.
I think money for me. I mean, I kind of find with a very quote unquote spiritual connection with money, I would say. It's a
Content. Explain this.
Yeah, I'll explain it, because if it is very much needed for you to move around and do all kinds of things, all kinds of ambitions and all kinds of desires have to be fulfilled by it.
Yes.
But at the same time, it's sitting in your save for in that box. It has no use. It is just paper.
Yes.
And the money is the most imaginary character you could ever think human beings have ever invented. God comes second than money, because it's the same creation.
Yeah.
The same thought, same. Everything is the same. Why Lakshmi, Saraswati? Lakshmi is more, worshipped in all this country.
Yeah.
Why? Because of you need to move because you need money. But the moment you stop it and you can just look at it as more like I've done a digital print on which what I did was that I went to the Khoj area where the rooftop of Khoj only used, where I put lots of 1,000 rupees. Those days the 1,000 rupees were there, spreading on the roof. And then the digitally manipulated. So I just made the combinations of different ways of following this thing.
Money, yeah.
And then I kind of replicate it, and it was filled with on the rooftop.
Yeah.
And no, it has nothing to do with Khoj, because I used one chat. Okay.
I thought they asked you for work for donation.
No. No, it's not. Because I could use comfortably. I could go there and work. So then I titled it, "Last night rained a lot."
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
So that was, I mean, I'm just saying in connection.
What did Pooja so think of it?
I don't know.
She must have got a dream. It's like, ऊपर से पैसा गिरा. No, nice. So you're comfortable with money. For you, is Saraswati first or Lakshmi first? Who do you subscribe to?
Saraswati first.
Saraswati.
Yeah, for sure.
Sahi jawab.
There is no second thought about it. Yeah.
At this religious point, we are going to really say bye.
Yeah.
That was a great chat. I really respect you for talking to me for so much time. Thank you a lot.
Thank
Means
you.
a lot
Thank
to
you.
me that
Vaibhav.
you actually.
It was a very interesting conversation.
Thank you.
You have the knack of kind of,
Tickling people.
tickling people.
Thank you. No. I wanted to know you as a person. I feel like my first conversation with you in depth should be on camera because I am also want to have an archive of Indian artists, and it helps the future a lot. I've seen multiple platforms where creative minds should be documented in depth, and now people are into long form content. So somebody who, if you're listening to this while you're driving or something, I hope you got something out of this. I thank this is Gigi Scaria. Thank you. I thought it'd be more funny. No, it's actually a very healthy conversation. It's a conversation that many people actually have in the bar or should have. What is happening is